The curious case of making informed consent for children shared to public social media platforms. When I started sharing my life on TikTok, I was catapulted into the public eye. I went from 0 followers to 250,000 in a matter of weeks. In my now 4-year social media career, I have reached 100 million annual views at its peak. That many eyes is unfathomable to me, and I am an adult. But my daughter featured in many of those videos as well, and she was only 1, 2, 3, or 4 at the time. She had neither the cognitive skills to understand that mummy's games would leave the home, nor the capacity to consent, even if I had asked her. As a researcher, we practice informed consent. As a researcher of children, that informed consent falls to a parent or caregiver, as we recognize that children are not able to consent. Assent, yes. Informed consent, no. Every experiment I have run, I have always asked children whether they want to play my games with me. I tell them what they will do, that they can stop or change the task at any time, and then ask if that sounds okay. They always say yes, because it has been designed to be fun. They don't care that there is a camera filming their every action. They don't think about where that video will end up and who will see their actions after that. That is for the parent or caregiver to consider and consent. And most importantly, child and caregiver can withdraw their consent, and that video can be deleted forever with just a single request. In research, we are extraordinarily careful and transparent in how video and data of children are treated and stored. It's a requirement of our funding bodies, our universities, and our ethical boards. We have to jump many hoops before we can even enter a room with a child that isn't ours, let alone record one and then store their video footage for later analysis. I spent 4 years in undergraduate education and 3 years completing a doctorate to learn how to be a developmental scientist. My career entails that I dedicate a lifetime to upholding, following, and teaching the ethics of researching children where consent is at the center. At the time that I started sharing my daughter on a public platform, I was 7 years into my research career and only 1 year into my parenting career. I had taught engineers about the ethics of storing children's imagery. I had fought to have breaches of children's privacy and research restored. I knew how carefully we had to treat the footage of other people's children. But I didn't apply the same caution to my own. That wasn't because I didn't care. I did care, and I was careful. I had a set of guiding principles: no nudity, no capturing negative behaviors, screaming or crying, no capturing anything embarrassing. Somehow, these principles did not extend to stories of negative child behaviors, but more on that another time. I was careful, considerate, respectful, and protective. Ultimately, I determined that as a mother, I had the right to make informed consent on her behalf, with her father as my sounding board and secondary consenter. I was able to consent to how her digital footprint was created and what it comprised. To be honest, I never even considered her digital footprint. At the start of my social media career, I was deep in my recovery from postnatal anxiety and depression. I was seeking a village of support. I was passionate about ensuring that other parents' minds weren't plagued by the same misinformation that I encountered on social media. I was swept up in the storm of the algorithm. When millions of people are clamoring for more of your knowledge while you are drowning in uncertainty of your ability to mother, it is intoxicating and you chase it like a moth to a flame. I taught developmental psychology to the masses. My face and life at the forefront. My child, my co-presenter. Our experiences, our ups, our downs, our everything at the center of my storytelling and teaching. The number of people who saw these videos never registered to me. It was just an abstract concept Never did I picture the videos I recorded of my child performing a classical experiment once a day being shown to the same sized crowd as a Taylor Swift stadium concert or more. Like the video of my child on a plane, viewed by almost the same number of people as the population of Australia. I tried my best to leverage my extensive training on ethics and apply it to my social media posting. I tried my best to honour my child's autonomy and ability to say no. None of our videos were ever forced or scripted. They were always fun and games. They never manipulated my mothering of her, and I always asked her whether she'd be okay with other people seeing them. I obtained her assent, and I applied my informed consent. But can you truly apply informed consent for your child if you post on TikTok expecting only 100, 500, or even 10,000 people to see it, and then suddenly 5 million people see it? What about 50 million? What about when your child goes viral and becomes a meme? See Fully Conscious Baby as an example, although maybe don't, because that only perpetuates the memeification of a 1-year-old infant. Can you consent for your child when you feed them to an algorithm and as a byproduct, potentially the entire world? I don't know, and I'm not sure if I ever will. It is not my domain of expertise. It is for minds much more brilliant than mine, for the philosophical thinkers, the ethical researchers, the legal minds, the algorithm experts, the government policymakers, and a consortium of them all. To debate, to consider, and to hopefully hand down guiding principles, policies, and ethics to enforce so that parents need not make such errors in judgment as I did, or far worse.